All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the definitive open source infrastructure battle, Proxmox VE versus XCP-ng. Look, if you manage an IT environment, a home lab, or even a full-scale data center, you already know this is the absolute showdown everyone's talking about right now. This is especially true if recent proprietary licensing changes have you, well, sweating over your upcoming IT budget. So we're going to dig deep into the architecture, the features, and the core philosophies of both platforms to help you navigate this massive industry shift.
Right now, we are witnessing a massive industry migration away from pricey proprietary hypervisors like VMware, and we're looking closely at the two open source heavyweights that are totally ready to take its place. Organizations across the globe are actively hunting for credible platforms that solve one central pressing problem. How do we run and manage virtual machines without getting trapped by aggressive vendor lock-in or those escalating, eye-watering licensing costs? I mean, the anxiety in the IT space right now is absolutely palpable. Whole IT departments are having emergency meetings just trying to figure out how to stretch their budgets. Fortunately, both of the open source platforms we're looking at today offer the clustering, the high availability, and the raw enterprise muscle required to act as genuine drop-in replacements for your legacy systems. So here's our roadmap for the Explainer today. 1. The catalyst. 2. Core philosophies. 3. Virtual machines versus containers. 4. Storage and backup workflows. 5. Migration and support models. And finally, 6. The final verdict. Let's see how this structured comparison helps you decide exactly what fits your team best. Part 1. The Catalyst and the Open Source Exodus. Let's dive right into this shared mission of replacing VMware with credible, lock-in-free platforms. Okay, so to set the stage, as of July 2026, we're analyzing the absolute most current releases on the market. On one side, we've got Proxmox VE 9.2, which is rock-solidly based on Debian 13. And on the flip side, we have XCP-ng 8.3, which is a long-term support release officially backed all the way until November 2028. Now, this timeframe matters tremendously, because in enterprise infrastructure, nobody wants to spend their weekends frantically migrating off an unsupported hypervisor just because a vendor changed their mind, right? Both of these projects are proving they are in it for the long haul, giving you the stable, predictable life cycles that large-scale deployments absolutely demand. Moving right along to Section 2, Core Philosophies, Swiss Army Knife versus the Specialized Toolkit. You know, what's fascinating is that these two platforms have fundamentally different approaches to infrastructure management. Proxmox? Well, it acts a lot like a Swiss Army knife. Its dense, feature-rich web interface is installed directly on every single node. If you want to create a VM, configure some storage, or maybe schedule a backup, you do it right there on the node itself. It's a true all-in-one approach. XCP-ng, conversely, operates much more like a highly specialized toolkit. It deliberately separates the roles. The hosts purely run the Xen-based virtualization platform, while a completely separate centralized management server, called Xen Orchestra, handles all your reporting, load balancing, and disaster recovery. So it really boils down to a classic debate of decentralized all-in-one convenience versus centralized, strictly separated roles. Section 3. Virtual machines versus containers. Analyzing the compute workloads. Let's shift our focus down to the compute layer and see how they actually handle your day-to-day apps. Here we see a pretty sharp divergence in workload philosophy. XCP-ng focuses purely on robust Xen virtualization. It's fiercely dedicated to strong isolation, seamless live migration, and really advanced resource pools for your traditional full virtual machines. Proxmox, however, takes a different route. It offers robust kernel-based virtual machines, or KVM, for things like Windows and high isolation workloads, but then it adds this incredibly flexible container layer right alongside it, straight out of the box. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates why teams relying heavily on Linux services might heavily prefer Proxmox. Those LXC containers give you the exact services you need without all the heavy overhead of a full virtual machine kernel. I mean, think about it. If you just need a quick web server or a database, an LXC container spins up instantly, using just a tiny fraction of the memory and CPU of a traditional VM. Instead of booting up 10 different operating systems to run 10 different services, you just share the host kernel and run the apps. It is a massive efficiency boost for mixed Linux environments, letting you cram way more utility onto a single piece of hardware. All right, Section 4 brings us to storage and backup workflows, infrastructure and data resilience. The crucial point here is how these platforms handle the absolute lifelines of your system, your storage and your backups. When evaluating storage, both platforms completely master local setups and traditional shared architectures like NFS and iSCSI. But look closely at how they handle hyperconverged setups. That's where your storage and compute are combined on standard servers. Proxmox integrates deeply with Ceph, allowing you to manage this massive distributed storage cluster right from its native interface. XCP-ng takes a very different path. They leverage an option called ExoStore, which uses standard Linux storage tech to replicate storage across your hosts. Now keep in mind, while Ceph on Proxmox is incredibly powerful and basically infinitely scalable, it's hungry. It requires sufficient nodes, dedicated disks, and a lot of high bandwidth network capacity to run without bottlenecking. If you lack those massive enterprise-grade resources, XCP-ng's approach, or honestly even just simple ZFS, which is a highly robust file system on Proxmox, might be a much more realistic, stable foundation for your build.
Now for disaster recovery, the thing we all hope we never have to use, but absolutely need when things go totally sideways. Their design philosophies clash yet again here. Proxmox cleanly separates the hypervisor from its dedicated Proxmox backup server. This setup gives you advanced, block-level deduplication, encryption, and live restores, while beautifully isolating your backup storage from your production infrastructure. XCP-ng, on the other hand, just bakes powerful continuous replication, full and incremental backups, and rolling snapshots directly into the Xen Orchestra management system itself. So one path intentionally separates the roles for strict isolation, and the other seamlessly integrates them for that super convenient single pane of glass experience. Okay, Section 5, Migration and Support Models, making the move from VMware. When you're staring down the barrel of executing a massive jump from VMware, the tools backing you up literally make all the difference in the world. Migration workflows are critical because, let's face it, downtime directly equals lost revenue. XCP-ng offers this incredible warm migration process natively through Xen Orchestra. It drastically minimizes downtime by quietly copying the bulk of a running VM in the background while your users are still working. Then, only at the very last second, it shuts down just briefly to securely transfer the final tiny delta changes. It's near seamless. Proxmox counters this with a highly efficient, remarkably slick web-based import wizard that hooks directly into ESXi via API to pull your guests over smoothly without needing any complex third-party tools. While both platforms offer completely open-source access, Proxmox under the GNU AGPL v3 and XCP-ng without any feature restrictions. They both offer optional commercial support to keep your business running smoothly. XCP-ng uniquely prices this per physical host, beautifully dodging those painful per CPU taxes that have been so frustrating for the industry lately. But guys, it is absolutely vital to remember, the absence of a software license fee doesn't magically remove your need for experienced engineers. Free software is free like a puppy, right? You still need to feed it with tested updates, rigorous documentation, and skilled professionals ready to step in when a drive array fails at 2 a.m. Your total cost of ownership shifts from licensing to talent, and you definitely need to plan accordingly. Section 6, the final verdict. Which should you choose? We've reached the crossroads, folks, so let's break down exactly which platform your IT team should adopt based on all these architectural differences. So when is Proxmox VE the winner? Well, if your team relies heavily on lightweight Linux containers alongside traditional VMs, loves having everything immediately accessible in one integrated interface right on the node, and thrives in a Debian, KVM, or ZFS environment, Proxmox VE is going to be your perfect match. It is an absolute powerhouse for mixed workloads, managed service providers, and smaller IT teams or Homelab enthusiasts who want incredibly broad infrastructure features without having to assemble a crazy complex puzzle of external management products. Conversely, choose XCP-ng if you run a strictly VM-focused shop. If you strongly demand centralized management across massive resource pools through a tool like Xen Orchestra, or you're coming directly from a Citrix or Xen server background, XCP-ng provides a perfectly structured operational fit. It thrives in larger environments that highly value the strict, traditional separation of the hypervisor host compute from the management and backup appliance. Ultimately, this final choice isn't just about reading off a headline feature list. It's about matching operational philosophy to your team's specific reality, your storage design, and your daily management workflows. Both of these are incredible feats of open-source engineering that can completely liberate your infrastructure from proprietary licensing models. So, knowing what you know now about how they operate beneath the hood, will you build your future on the ultimate Swiss Army knife or the specialized enterprise toolkit?